Okay, so genuine question. Do you think you have free will? Like, do you think you actually chose things, your opinions, your reactions, what makes you angry, what you find attractive, the kind of people you end up around? Most people will say yes, obviously. I am not a robot, I make choices every day. Then tell me why you always order the same thing at a restaurant you have been to 10 times. Here is the thing that started messing with my head. I started noticing how predictable I am. Like, I can roughly predict what will make me angry before it happens. I know what kind of people I will like within 5 minutes of meeting them. I know what I will say in an argument before argument starts. I know which news I will care about and which I will scroll past. And if I can predict that myself, am I really choosing or I am just running? So here is what I think is actually happening. Everything you are right now, your personality, your opinions, your fears, the things that make you laugh, the things that make you shut down, all it came from somewhere you didn't choose. You didn't choose which family to be born into. You didn't choose which country, which economic situation, which school, which friend found you first, which experiences hit you before you are old enough to process them properly. All of them just happened to you and shaped you completely. And now you are working and making choices, but you are making them with a brain that was built by things you had zero control over. So, how free is that actually? This is the thing that happens when you argue with someone. You ever notice how you always end up at the same place? Like, different argument, different topic, different person. But somehow you always land on the same position, the same feeling, the same conclusion. Because it's not really about the argument, it's about you already are. The argument is just an occasion. You were always going to land there. The path felt like a choice. The destination was already decided. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Because I'm not saying this to be depressing. I'm not saying nothing matters. We are all just robots and give up. I am saying the opposite actually. When I started noticing how predictable I was, how much of what I thought were my choices were actually just my conditioning running on autopilot. It was uncomfortable at first, and then it was kind of a relief because I stopped being so hard on myself. Like the thing that I did 5 years ago that I still cringe about at 3 am. The person who did that was working with that information, the experiences, the emotional kit they had at that time. Of course, they made that choice. What else were they going to do? And the people who hurt me, same thing. I'm not saying what they did was okay, but understanding what they were also just. Their upbringing, their fears, their conditioning running makes it harder to carry that anger. Not impossible, just harder. And here is the part that I think is genuinely useful. If most of you do is automatic patterns running, conditioning playing out, then the actual work isn't making better choices in the moment. It's changing the condition, the book you read, the people you spend time around, the things you expose yourself to, the environments you put yourself in, because those things slowly, very slowly rebuild the autopilot. You are not choosing in the moment as truly as you think, but you can choose what shapes you over time. And that's a different kind of agency, slower, less dramatic, but very real. So, do I believe in free will? Honestly, I don't know. And I have made peace with not knowing. What I do think is the version of free will most people believe in, where you are put in this complete autonomous person making pure rational decisions, that's probably not real. But the version you can slowly, deliberately change and shape you what goes into the machine. That one I think is worth living in, even if I didn't choose to believe it.